up this morning, coffee in hand, flipped on the screen, my favorite man. Crafty's on the TV, chipping that stone with obsidian and flint, he's in the zone. He's shaping the future with a hit and a crack, building the legends, ain't no turning back. With every sharp edge, he's teaching the way of the ancients who thrive back in the day. Crafty on the TV, talking that smack, stone carving dreams, never looking back. From Texas to Vermont, Crafty studies us, chisel in the past, building futures for us. Wielding the hammer, he's steady and strong, crafting a world where we all belong. Underneath those layers of dust and grit, finds the magic every little bit. A sculptor of stories, buried in the ground, each piece he uncovers wisdom abound. With every collision, the sparks start to fly. As the old world awakens, we question why. He's digging deeper where the shadows play, reviving old crafts that could fade away. Crafty on the TV, talking that smack, stone carving dreams, never looking back. From Texas to Vermont, Crafty studies us, chisel in the past, building futures for us. Wielding the hammer, he's steady and strong, crafting a world where we all belong. And in this life, we're all just searching for our place in the world, a way to keep working. With the flick of his wrist, he brings forth the light. In every gray morning, he makes it feel right. So gather around, let the stories unfold. Crafty's our guide through the young and the old. With the sun rising high and the day moving on, Crafty carves dreams till the light is all gone. He's shaping the future one chip at a time. With every creation, he's keeping the rhyme. From the heartland of Texas to the mountains of green, the legacy lives all through the stonework unseen. With every perspective, he's showing the way. Crafty keeps going, come whatever may. Crafty on the TV, talking that smack, stone carving dreams, never looking back. From Texas to Vermont, Crafty studies us, chisel in the past, building futures for us. Wielding the hammer, he's steady and strong, crafting a world where we all belong. So here's to the mornings with coffee in hand and Crafty on the screen, the true heart of the land. With a hit and a crack, he's paving the way through stone and through story. He inspires the day.
Hello, hello. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody. Or Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas Eve. Let's see, who do we have in the chat? Let me find myself on the YouTubes. Yeah, it's good to run that song in the intro because it gives the YouTube's time for me to see my live stream. Okay, so we have Dawkinstein is the first one. TJ is here. Graylin is here. Good afternoon from Southwest Louisiana. Jim is here. Mac is here. Jeff is here. 123 Guitardin. I forget who that is. Someone said their name changed. Who was it? Killer Cork is here. Lots of guys are here already. I'm going to start napping right away, but it's going to be small points today. Okay? All right. Small points. But there's an unboxing. Michael sent me a box, and let's see what it is. Where's my stone knife? Yeah. The post office didn't demolish it. No, it's not demolished. Miracles do happen. Okay, what's in the letter? The letter for me, not for you. Let's see. This is chert from the Royal Peacock Opal Mine. Oh, dang. I don't think anyone else is picking it up to nap. They just pile it up as a waste rock. I included some obsidian nodules that I picked up on the way into the mine. They're just littered all over. I'm very interested to see what you think about it. I plan on going back this coming spring to get more of both. There's no natural source of nappable material in my area. Welcome. I live like 30 minutes south of Lake Tahoe in a small town. And let's see. I am subscribed to your YouTube channel. If you happen to nap a piece on there, but a simple email back with your opinion will do. Yeah, cool, awesome, perfect letter, perfect so far. Packaging. Now, what do we got? This is waste rock. Let me see. And I got these look like hammerstones included. Oh wait, there's a piece of obsidian. So these are not hammerstones. Look how they look on the outside. They remind me of hammerstones, but these are obsidians. Let me see what this is. It's got sparkles in it. It looks like it naps. Maybe I'm going to try a piece. Not maybe. I will try a piece of that. Is it? So there's obsidians in here and that opal stuff. Right? Royal Peacock Opal Mine. So I don't know what this is called. Let's see. There's some obsidian nodules on the way in the mine. So this is from Lake Tahoe is in Nevada, I guess, right? This looks like black buttery stuff. Yeah. It looks awesome. Or it might be transparent. So Lake Tahoe, as far as I remember, it's in either Utah or Nevada. I forget. Right? I blotted out the address so I can't cheat and look it up real quick. Let's see. Yeah, I marked over the top of the address in this. I can't see the state. All right. Let me see here. What am I going to do? That was a cool unboxing. Yes? Yes. Let's get going here. I'll check the chat if I can. It's difficult for me to check the chat with the camera in the position that it's in. So I have to use a separate phone to check the chat. And people don't like it. They go, wait a second. I don't like when you interact with the audience. People don't like it. Let's see. I tried some Georgetown yesterday. It napped extremely well. I really like it. Good. You can have what I have. Let's see. Well, not all of it, but you know what I mean. You can have some of what I have. Just remind me. Right? Who said that? Killer Cork. Yeah, just remind me in the auction. I've got some flakes. If you like Georgetown. I don't like it anymore. Merry Christmas from Glasgow. Best of health to you and your family. Thank you. Thank you. Stab McShag. That's a cool name. Senku. Yay. He's in the house. Senku Ishigami. All right. So Merry Christmas Eve, everybody. I'm looking at the chat so I can interact with the audience. Okay. All right. Whoops. Do you have any eBay trusted stone sellers you recommend? Do I have eBay trusted stone sellers? No. Not on eBay. eBay is known for poor quality stuff. Now, there are some sellers on eBay that will offer you good stuff, but it's hit or miss. It's best for you to go to a Knapping and buy it in person. Now, there are other rock sellers that I do recommend, and they're mainly on Facebook. There's some that are on Facebook that also sell on eBay, but they don't like selling on eBay because the sellers can get ripped off. I got ripped off as a seller on eBay by a guy who faked his complaints to eBay, so I had to give him a refund, and he ended up getting everything for free. So that's the kind of, the kind of sellers that survive on eBay are the ones that have a lot of resource to stuff that's of very low quality. Because let's say that they get ripped off, they still get a bunch more, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. I got ripped off of things that are not replaceable because they were all arrowheads that I made. Those are not replaceable. Those are all one of a kind. Okay. This actually chips easily. This stuff from the trash rock from the opal mine. Yeah. So let's try this first. Since this is waste rock where he's at. Yeah. It's not going to be, slick like flint, but it's okay. Michael. We have an army of Michaels. So yeah, hopefully you're watching the live stream. Let's see. People say hi. People are saying hi. I'm gonna stop looking at see how many people are actually watching because it doesn't really matter. The average view duration on these live streams of mine are about 49 seconds. Last time I checked. This is not bad. This is not too bad. It's very grainy though, so I'm not too hopeful as far as sharpening at the final stages because it might get all crushy. I'm using a bopper right now because thanks. If I mess it up, it's not like it's the end of the world. I got a bunch more in the box. And it's fast. The bopper is very fast. I can test it out. And a lot of guys use boppers in the initial stages. This feels like very snap and half-ish stuff. Yeah. Snap and half-ish. It's a flint-knapping term, so don't worry about it. Uh-oh. The piece flew off the top. When I hit the base, a piece flew off the tip. I guess it was a little flake that was not detached. So let's see. I'm going to have to thin the base from the sides. Because I'm going to have to hit it really, really hard. And it's going to break the tip off. Or break it in half. So I'm going to use indirect percussion. The easy part's over. Now comes the hard parts. Getting harder as it progresses. Who else we have? Who else? Merry Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas Eve, everybody. What's going on here? Logical Apostate. That's a cool name. Jim says, kind of reminds me of some of the challenge rock I sent you from Arizona last summer. Yeah, but this naps a little bit easier. Yeah, it's not as grainy. It has some slickness to it. We'll see. We're going to dig into it here in a second. I just knocked off the problem areas. Yeah. Let me see here. Every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, that's my auction when it starts. Logical Apostate says, I will not spam chat. If a mod can give me an idea of next auction time, I would appreciate it greatly. Yeah. It's also in the description of almost every one of my videos. If you look in the descriptions. But the auction times are 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern time. Eastern. I thought I was not going to use a bopper on this. I just saw an opportunity. I never give up on, I never pass on opportunities. But I don't have no more opportunities. Yeah, that's it. I will try to check the chat or be more conscious of the chat on this and future live streams. Ew, what that? Yeah, we're napping some nasty material, so-called. We'll see. I'm calling it kind of nasty right now, but we'll see. It might work. You can't judge a rock by its color. No. I bet if it, if it was beautiful, people would say, "Oh, that's snapping so nicely." But if it's gray and kind of ugly, they'll go, "Nah, it's not that great." They're judging the rock by the color. Yeah. All right. Let's see here. How is this going to work? Is it going to crush when I try to indirect it? No, it's not going to crush. It's actually going to cooperate. Well, that's a first. That's a first for grainy material. Let's put it in view so everyone can see. I got the heater running, but I don't need to. Yeah, the temperature is hovering right around 35 degrees outside, and it's like 50, almost 50 degrees now in the shop. So we're doing good. Alrighty, so we are tackling this stuff that was waste rock from an opal mine. What kind of rock is it? I have no ideas. Someone will know. In the chat. Probably. It's some kind of chert, I imagine. But it feels like it's been heat treated. It feels like nasty rock that's been heat treated. What is heat treatment? Yeah, gotta watch some more videos. Or just ask the YouTubes. Type in Jack Crafty heat treat. Why Jack Crafty? Because that's me. See right there? That's me. I have lots of videos. And I do videos on all kinds of stuff related to flint knapping. And heat treat is one of those things. What's funny is the last live stream, this stuff didn't show up very well. It cut off the top when the YouTube processed the video, because it doesn't post after I end the live stream, it doesn't post it right away. It processes the live video and then it uploads it. But it uploaded my last one with this top part cut off. Stupid. So I lowered it down a little bit from the top of the frame. Because I like it. Like this one was given to me by Smallzilla or Harley, and I bought this on-air sign because someone suggested it, and I thought it was a good idea. Yeah. So this is going to go slow if I have to check the chat. Senku says, Jack, maybe you can heat treat the flakes that come off of that dried out opal. I don't know what it is, but it looks like the driest opal I've ever seen. No, this came from an opal mine, which means that this is the rock next to the opal. It's not the actual opal rock. I'm tempted to call this glitter crunch. because it's glittery. It's got these little inclusions in it. Glitter crunch. Let's see. I know it's probably called something else, but. Glitter crunch. Can you see? No. It's not opal. It's called glitter crunch. That's its Indian name. It does flake, but I'm afraid it's going to snap at any time. We shall see. I could just keep it thick and make everybody sick. Yeah. If you want to make everybody sick, you just keep it thick. That's the rule. All right. Here we go. This is the hard part, right? It might look easy, but this has taken me years and years and years to perfect. And I get a lot of comments. I still get comments on that short video about why are things so well made. People have opinions on that. They forget that flint knapping is an ongoing learning process throughout your life. Yeah. There's always some little tweak that you can do. It's a never-ending tweak fest. Yeah. And the older you are, the more you learn. It takes years to develop some of the skills involved in flint knapping. You can divide them up into different skills. Notching, thinning, and bifacing, quarrying. All that stuff develops over time. To try to learn all of that before you're 20 years old is probably impossible. And what's the life expectancy back in the day? Mid-20s? For males? Maybe even females because of childbirth back in the day. Anyways, life expectancy wasn't that long. And I've been doing this for 15 years. I am still learning stuff. And I can still develop other techniques that no one has seen. I'm keeping them to myself for now. So if you think you can master this by the time that you're in your mid-20s, you are sadly mistaken. Sadly, because, you know, it'll be sad when you find the truth, when you're older. Because the younger guys go, no, I know everything about flint knapping and I'm only 22. I do excellent. I do excellent thin points, much better than my grandfather. Yeah. Okay, thinness is not the end all of everything. It's not. It's one of the most difficult things to do, but if you burn through all the rock in the quarry and say, yeah, I'm an expert. Yeah, I used up the whole quarry and napped it all, but I got 5 really thin points out of the 600,000 mistakes. Yeah. So I'm a genius. No, the thing is not to use the whole quarry to get your thin points. You busted up all the rock trying to get the thin points. What's the matter with you? In fact, you know what? You're okay. I'm going to show you your own quarry. It's up there near the cliff. Really? Yeah, let's go up there. So they go up there to the cliff. And the guy says, okay, where's the quarry? Oh, we just passed it, and pushes them off the cliff. It's down there. We passed it. Yeah. Now you have a quarry in heaven. Yep, that's where you belong. Okay? All right. So there you go. That's a little story. People like stories, so I told a little story. About the guy who wasted the whole quarry just for thin points. Yep. The only place you find unlimited amount of resource material is in heaven. Yeah, Napper's heaven. So that's where he went. Jim says, I've known kids of nappers and others who basically mastered napping in a few years because of their access to experts and good luck. Yeah. You can definitely advance quickly, but then you get stuck. Unless you keep learning, you're stuck in a rut. When I first started doing the indirect percussion stuff, everyone was stuck in a rut. They thought they were experts. Them and their kids.
What's that? That's so odd. It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah. You need to expand on your brain. It's not good to be stuck in a rut, even though you think you have mastered whatever you're mastering. I taught my kids napping also, the ones that were interested, and they learned very quickly on this indirect stuff. And they were able to make hunting type points and necklaces, pendants for necklaces. But I would not consider them I wouldn't have considered them mastering it anytime soon. In fact, once you think you've mastered it, you've probably, put yourself into a rut. Self-inflicted rut. Yeah, it's a continuing education type thing. Why do you have to keep learning and learning and learning? Because it's a technology. It's a technology. Just like all technologies, there's advancement, steady advancement over time. Now, there were some periods of time, like the Mesolithic, where humans barely advanced in flint knapping for hundreds of thousands of years. Barely any advancement at all. And I think it's because it could have been because they thought they mastered it. Yeah. Anyways, let's see. Hey, Marty's here. Just got done working some coral and obsidian. Somebody says, Eli says, why dull the edge? Does that help to grab the edge when you strike it? Yes, it helps in many things. It helps prevent it from smashing all to pieces because it's so delicate. If you grind the edge, it's not delicate anymore. If you hit a delicate edge, it's obviously going to smash it all up. It's not going to do anything. If you make it dull, the force gets transmitted into the stone and you're able to take a flake. The more dull it is, the bigger the flake you can take. The more dull it is, the bigger the flake you can take. Okay? What about the little bitty points? Well, the dullness is proportional to the size of the item. Okay? So you'll learn that proportionality if you get into napping. Everything is scalable. It's the same, everything's the same, just a matter of scale, either small or big, as far as the basics, like grinding. Grinding and stuff, abrading is a basic skill. Advanced skills are what make the difference between a really thick, clunky point and thin, beautiful, so-called beautiful thinness and delicacy, delicate points. The skill involved in that can be separated into classes. Large points require a certain mindset, medium-sized points require a certain mindset, and small points require a certain mindset in terms of advanced skills. The basic skills are all the same, but the advanced skills can be divided into those three classes: large, medium, and small. Okay, so if you start with a big piece, some guys go, hey, if I just buy a real big rock, I'll get something out of it because, I'll try it for a big one, and if it doesn't work, I'll get a medium one, and if it doesn't work, I'll get a small one, right? No, that's not how it works. If you want to get big points, you need to stay with big points and big pieces. And if it gets smaller, you need to just put that aside and keep working on only big stuff, because that's a whole different mindset than the medium-sized stuff. And if you want to make small points, which everyone should start at, it's a whole different mindset than these medium points. Okay, so when you get a big chunk and you think, well, at least I'll get something out of it. No, you might end up with just absolutely nothing, because each stage is a different mindset. But you're applying the same mindset to each stage. That's the problem. Okay? All right. I should do a highlight on that one. Maybe if I mention the word highlight, it'll highlight it. But it's hard to discuss these important points in 3 minutes. I have a difficult time trying to explain something in 3 minutes for a highlight or a short video. Oh, that one worked pretty good. This is actually working better than that one from yesterday. See, this is the one from yesterday. This one was a royal pain. This one is actually working better. I can actually get cooperation from this one. And this material here, this one here looks like beautiful flint. And this one looks like cruddy stuff. Like the glitter crunch I was talking about. But it's actually working well. Yeah, better than this piece of junk. And this is high grade chert. I bet you if I heat treat it, it'll be very high grade. But right now, it's not. It has a potential of being high grade when heat treated. I bet you. I bet you. But you never know. We had to place our bets. Flint napping is a gamble game. Jared says, hello, Patrick. Merry Christmas. Yes, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas Eve. AM01. Merry, Jack, amazing you are online. Yeah, it's amazing. I'm still here. Yeah. Let's see. Tubu says the tools found in, I don't know how to pronounce that, Bimbektka, were about 100,000 years old. Yeah. For hundreds of thousands of years, the tools didn't change. Yeah, in India, it's pretty much the same everywhere where flint napping progressed very slowly until something weird happened with the human brain. And we don't know exactly what that was. But the human brain was able to start producing advanced stone tools. And all suddenly, it was game on. And advanced stone tools were being produced by the millions. But this was in the Neolithic. Yeah. The Mesolithic was pretty stagnant for thousands and thousands of years. Something happened with the human brain that changed everything. And it wasn't size. It was something else. And we still haven't figured that out. Yeah. Might not ever get the correct answer to that one. And it wasn't aliens. No. Although I bet you some guys was, yeah, we you know, kind of interbred with the aliens. Yeah. That's what happened. We got alien brain DNA. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, these big, huge giants came down from the heavens. Anyways, this is getting to the point where I think it might break at any time. Let me see. Oh, it's not thin enough down here. Yeah, this is cooperating. You know what? You should get more of this stuff. Yes, yes. Michael, you should get more of this stuff. If you're watching, and this is just being thrown away as waste, you need to get more of this and learn on it. Yep. Because it does cooperate. I can see there's some inconsistencies in it and there's some nasty spots, but you can learn on it because it's fairly consistent and it's got glitter in it. Can you see? It's got these little glitter spots in it. Why is that important? Because if it looks like it's interesting, it'll keep you occupied. You'll want to nap it. Hey, what's this $5 that I see? Someone gave me a super chat. Someone gave me some money. Hey, Dawkinstein, $5. Merry Christmas. Yes. Heart and a like. Yeah, you can buy super chats during the live stream. Don't be shy. Yeah, but I spent all my money on my mom. Okay, fine. If you spend all your money on your mom, that's good. I have no complaints on that one. Midbar says, when you needed to shoot an animal, artwork wasn't important. It was functionality. That is true. Yeah. What are the tools you're using called and the differences in them? I have a video on my tools. You go back and you look at the shorts video. I have a short 3-minute video on my tools. I have to answer that question like 10 times during each live stream. So that's why I don't want to seem like I'm, shuffling you to the side or whatever. I have a video I made specifically for people asking it in live streams. No obsidian here, but great quality Mississippian, says Logical Apostate. I might be full of BS on the type. Heat treats in your oven at home is literally all over the place if you know what you're looking for. Yeah. Heat treating can be very tricky. The gophers are digging up stuff near where Eli lives. Well, that's handy. Mr. Jim says, I wish I could walk out and pick up obsidian. I have chert laying around, so I can't complain. Yeah, don't complain, Mr. Jim. Let's see. Are you... let's see. Thank you, sir. I'll go check it out. You're welcome. What is it? It's an eye poker outer. It pokes eyes out. That's what this piece of rock is for. Yeah. Why can't I use something else to poke eyes out with? That's a very good question, because a lot of these points are kind of overkill. You don't need to have something so sweet and nice and beautiful. It's amazing. You can kill something with a trap. You don't need to shoot a projectile at it. So I think what these are used for mainly is warfare. It's not a popular opinion, but I think most of these nice napped points were used for warfare because it's very difficult to trap a human being. Yes, it is. Believe it or not. They get their foot in the trap and they get all ticked off, and they figure out a way to fake that they're in the trap, and they wait for you to come back around, and then they'll shoot you. Humans are too sneaky for traps, so you have to develop other weapons to get rid of them. These nasty humans that come around and steal everything. Because, yeah, theft has been one of mankind's greatest obstacles to progress. So I think these were developed for warfare, for the most part. Because you can butcher with flakes, and you can trap animals in traps. Okay? You don't need this fancy stuff. You can process them and butcher them with flakes, and you can make traps. Whether it's fish, whether it's reptiles, whether it's deer, or huge, gigantic animals like mammoths. Everything can be trapped, except a human. Sometimes you can get a human in the trap, but they've got to be distracted somehow. Like you got to chase them into it, and then it springs on them when they don't notice. Yeah, but if they're sneaking around the woods, they'll find your traps, and they'll steal animals from your traps. Yeah. How do I know? I don't know. Don't ask me how I know that. Have I been trapping? No, but I hear stories. I have a good friend that traps. Yeah. And I've read a lot about trapping. And eventually I'm going to go out trapping. But I just haven't had time. But I'd like to get into it. Oh, yes. Yep. So why would they need this kind of stuff for warfare? Well, one of the things that something like this does is it intimidates the enemy. If you've got advanced stone weapons and you're sitting around and you've been working out to make sure that you're strong enough to fight with these, that's going to intimidate people, humans, for one. It doesn't intimidate the deer because the deer looks at you and you're just a dumb human no matter what. But a human, if he sees you with advanced weaponry, he starts going, oh, dang. Oh, I haven't worked out and I haven't
achieve this kind of skill. He's gonna slice my head off with this thing, with that thing.
Or you make arrows that are poisoned or whatever with nice little barbs and stuff on them.
Yeah.
They get scared. Where a deer, they look at the arrow and it's all the same to them. But a human, he'll look at the type of arrows, he'll look at the barbs, he'll look at the bows, he'll look at the people shooting, he'll see how good they hide. There's more sophistication in how a human perceives things than the way an animal perceives things. So, first thing is intimidation factor. The second thing is it gives you confidence. It boosts your confidence to have an advanced weapon when you're in a fight. So it's morale. It's for morale. Yeah. And of course they work. Oh yes, they slice very easily. If you want to defeat an enemy quickly, the enemy needs to bleed out very quickly. Yeah. Now, I was in the military for a while, so I'm used to talking this way. If other people are not used to talking that way, I apologize. Okay? It's just a fact that weapons are not designed to be nice. Anyways, this kind of stuff is not necessary for defeating animals. In most cases. Some cases, yes, especially if you're into specialized hunting for certain types of things, like whales or whatever. Okay, fine. Yeah, advanced weaponry is required for defeating these large whales and stuff like that they used to harpoon back in the day. Even before European contact, for thousands of years, seals and whales were harpooned by Native Americans. In that case, the weapon system is advanced for that type of hunting. But if they could have trapped the whales, they would have trapped them. Yeah. If they could trap the sharks and all that, which I think they might have been able to, they would have done it and not waste their time with this stuff for animals. They wasted their time on this, yes, but for warfare. Yeah. Anyways.
Just do the napping, dude. I don't want to hear no opinions. You know what they say about opinions. Everyone's got one, right? Yeah.
Yep, I know about that. But more and more research is coming out that these things were used in warfare. There's more and more indirect proof. If you look at some of the Central American art, look at what the warriors are doing in the codexes, the Aztec codexes, for example. Just see what their weapons look like. All right? That kind of thing. They're fancy. They're like, wait a second, these depictions of their weapons are kind of fancy. They got feathers all over them sometimes. They paint them up. They even put faces on some of these blades for sacrifices. Like the Aztecs or the Maya, I forget. They used to glue stuff on these blades to make them look like they were faces of gods. Okay? And they were not for sacrificing animals. Catch my meaning? Yes? Good. I get comments like, I have no proof. Okay, fine. You don't read much, obviously. Some people you have to teach from scratch, and it just takes too long. They have the advantage that they need to be taught from scratch. And it takes years to teach someone from scratch how to think and how to do research. But they start out like, they argue like they know, but you've got to start with them from scratch, and it takes forever. Anyways, Or am I done thinning? I'm almost done thinning. I'm at the point where I think I'm going to break it. On every single hit, the tension is mounting. Yes, it is. There's a little bit of junk in there. I can probably get that out later. This junk in here. With the flakes that look better like this, like a big flake would be nice on that side. I cannot plan on it though. I can hope. I can prepare that and hope for a good big flake. Let's see. I got to lose a bunch of width though by removing the sharp areas and delicate spots and thin areas. I might be able to clean that up. We'll see. That way we can have side A and side A1 and side A2. They're both side A's. Yeah. I can have two side A's. You didn't know? Man. See, I told you you need to be old. You need to be old like me to know that stuff. Yeah. Oh, now you're joking about it. That means you were never serious about that whole being old stuff thing. Okay, you can believe whatever you want, dude. But please put it in the comments so we know who the dum-dums are. I want you to self-incriminate. Self-incriminate by putting that in the comments. Yeah. We want to know. Inquiring minds want to know who the dum-dums are. Okay? All right. Let's see. Is this going to work? I kind of get rid of some of that crunchiness. It didn't clean it up entirely, but I think it looks a little bit better. I think it's still side A and side B. It's not quite side A1 and side A2, but it's good enough. I like this stuff, Michael. Maybe this is a fluke. I don't know.
I want you to show me how to make this into like 4 perfect spalls for 4 perfect blades. Yeah. Do it.
Yeah, that's what everyone wants to see. They want to see me knap this into 4 perfect spalls. Or 5 or 6 perfect spalls. And then they say,
I've been napping for a couple of weeks. If you just show me how to do it, I can do what took you 10 years to learn. Yeah.
Dream on. Dream on, sucker. Yeah, take your 49-second viewership and go ahead and try it. Yeah. Spend $150 on a box of obsidian and watch me do it, or a box of this stuff. Watch how I do it and then go ahead and do it yourself. Yeah. I dare you. I double dare you. But before you do that, put the comment in the comment section so we can see who's going to be the crybaby later on.
I did exactly what you did, but I didn't do it. Why? Why didn't it do it?
I have no idea. I do not know. What is that green stuff in there? Uh-oh. It's mold. No? Is it opal? What is it? It just looks like weird stuff. That's a flint-knapping term. Weird stuff is a flint-knapping term. You thought it was going to be a perfect spall, huh? It had a crack in it. It's got nasty stuff. See, this is the stuff that'll mess you up. This stuff. This is kind of delicate, but you can use stuff like this for like tools for wood chopping and stuff. Yeah, just trust me. You can use big chunks like this for wood chopping and stuff. You don't have to make an axe. Believe it or not. So that's one my first attempt in trying to get a big spall, but it didn't work so well because it's got issues. And some of those issues require some tissues because it feels like such a waste. Oh, you start crying. How's that? You think you can do that after 49 seconds of viewership? Think you can do it? Oh, yes. I can do anything after 49 seconds.
Why are you fixated on the 49 seconds? You sound like a goofus.
Yeah. I don't want to say the word that I sound like. I know. I do it on purpose. You didn't know I'm doing it on purpose? I can help it. I don't have to act that way. I just want to see the reactions. I want to see the reactions. Yeah. It's rage baiting. Oh yes, I know what that is. Even at my age, I know what rage baiting is. Yes, I do. I have kids. I have 6 children. Believe me, I know the tricks. Are you learning how to spall? Yes? Can you do it now? No? Exactly. I'm just going to save you a little bit of time. Not because I'm showing you how to spall, but I'm going to save you time because you're going to be practicing napping a little smarter. You're not going to be trying to get big spalls out of this kind of stuff at the very beginning. You're going to start smaller and then graduate to bigger and bigger stuff. That's what I recommend. Don't buy a big chunk and expect good results if you're new. And sometimes even if you're more advanced. Don't expect good results. You have to practice. Yep. That's interesting. To develop a long flake without it snapping. Let's see if I can actually snap this with my bare hands. Yeah. It's not that strong, this stuff. Yeah. See that? If you can do that, it's not that strong. Like I cannot do that with this stuff. Like with this real, not real, but this chert or flint. I cannot break this stuff, and I am going to try to break it. I cannot break this, and it's thinner than this. Where is it? You saw the piece I just broke, right? Anyways, it was a lot thicker than this. I can't break this with my bare hands. So you kind of get the idea of what this is, right? Kind of. It's delicate material, but it does flint knap. And I can get this kind of result. I'm going to try to finish this out. Okay? All right, let me put this aside. Let me take a little break before I get into the final stage. Take a little break before I get to the final stage on this one.
Dude, look, you can flute it. Flute it. See, you already tried to do a little bit.
No, I'm not going to flute it. No. You know why I'm not going to flute it? Because you asked me to. You ruined it. Yeah. See, if you didn't ask, I would have done it. Yeah.
Really? I messed it up for you?
No, you didn't mess it up. It's too thin to flute. It needs good convexity down here. Unless you're using a pressure technique with a jig or something. Pressure techniques can generate flatter flakes. Percussion, the way I like to flute these, requires convexity, good convexity. All right, a pressure technique will actually push the flake and create a flatter flake with pressure. But like I said, percussion, it tends to not push the flakes. It tends to just peel them off and not push them off. There's a difference there. I don't know the physics. I just know the result. I don't know the exact physics. Okay? All right. Can you read that sign back there? No? Oh, well. It's okay. So this next stage is the finishing stage because it doesn't need to be any thinner. I got to put the notches in or the stem or whatever and then sharpen it. I'm going to put a stem on this. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm gonna try to do it easy peasily. Where is my easy peasy pressure flaker? Hold on a second though. Let me check and see if I missed something. Did I miss something? Ooh, there's a lot of chat. June says, can he tell he is speaking from experience? Can tell he is speaking from experience. Oh, yes. Logical apostate, yes, and a cape won't work any other way. Do you wear a mask? Yeah, I wear a mask when I'm not narrating. Off camera, I do wear a mask. Right now, I'm wearing this because it's the same as a respirator, pretty much, unless I spend hundreds of dollars on the fancy filters. I don't have that kind of money, so I just wear a regular mask. And it's good enough because I don't nap every day. And the amount of time I nap every day is limited to about 5 hours. So I do keep the dust in mind. I don't want to die of dust inhalation or silicosis. Let's see. How long have you been practicing? Asked June. It's been about 15 years. 16 years, maybe. 17. Somewhere between 17 and 15 years. When I first started, the first 2 years, I hardly ever even count the first 2 years because I made gravel. Yeah. Trying to do it like everybody else does it. Mike Mason says he got some rock challenges today. Nice. Let's see. Crybabies unite. Don't let the bullies push you around, says Ken. Rusty says, yo, my friend Braden has a rare birthday, which is today. Born on Christmas Eve. Yeah. It's just as rare as any other day. Yeah. There's lots of people born on every single day. June says, something made like that will be painful to get poked with. Oh, yes. Midbar says, have my own spalls of glitter crunch to play with while I watch this. Awesome. Yep, glitter crunch. Ken says, Patrick's not too old. I'm 81. Ken is 81 years old, guys. That's amazing. Mike says, what did I miss? You missed everything because all my good knowledge was expended in the first 10 minutes. Yeah. So you guys are talking to each other? That's cool. I was in the Army National Guard for 10 years. And I was honorably discharged as a first lieutenant. Why first lieutenant? Because I wasn't too happy about it. I did not want to move out of the position of platoon leader. Yeah. I liked being a platoon leader. I did not want to be a company commander and all that stuff. Besides, they put a restriction on us. At the time that I got my commission, I was at the tail end of the college requirements. So, or the beginning of the college requirements, I should say. It was at the tail end of the time where you didn't have to have a college degree. The year that I graduated from OCS, they imposed the college requirement to finish my training. So I was not able to advance very far without my college degree anyway. I did not get a college degree before I was discharged. Yeah, so now all officers are required, as far as I know, they're required to have a college degree with a bunch of useless information. Ezra says, what's your sharpest knife? I don't know. My sharpest knife is some version of this. Yeah. Oh, you mean stones? My sharpest stone knives are some version of this. You can't get any sharper than that. My sharpest stone knives are this. You can't get any sharper than that. I mean, you can try. This is what I did the other day. The other live stream, I think. I can try to get that. But look how not successful I was. See that? That's the sharpest. I can't get that sharp, although I haven't sharpened this up fully. But you get what I mean, right? This is the sharpest knife I got. These flakes. I know people don't like it when I answer like that, but it's truth. And the reason, I mean, not the reason. I know it's truth when I hear crickets. Yeah.
Dude, you're always hear crickets when you're by yourself on a live stream.
I've been around people. In case you haven't noticed. Anyways, what's the next question? Did I miss any questions? Yeah, flakes are the sharpest things. We don't actually need to make knives if we want something sharp when we're flint knappers. Rock and Pop's Adventures. Hey, Patrick, I'm here. How was the deer jerky? The deer jerky was excellent. Yes, it was excellent. I ate it all in one sitting. I had to sit down and say, okay, I'm going to watch something on the YouTubes that allow me to eat this whole batch in one sitting. Oh, yes. It was good. It was excellent. A little bit of spice, which was perfect because I like the spiciness. It was good. Yes, yes. What am I talking about? Don't worry about it. Rockin' Pop's Adventures is a loyal subscriber and contributor to the channel. Don't get all bent out of shape that you don't understand what's going on. Totally Baked Review says, the heck is this and what is it for? It's for you to shut up. Yeah, it's a shut up thing for you to shut up. Let me see. I think I answered the questions. Midbar says, I cut my thumb with obsidian once and didn't know it for 3 days. Well, it must not have been bleeding because I would have noticed right away because I make a mess everywhere I go. If I have a bloody finger, it gets everywhere within 10 minutes. I don't know how you do it. Were you wearing gloves for 3 days? Yes, and I am making fun of you. All right. I got to go, says Jim Cooper. Okay, Jim, see you later. Take it easy. Not everyone can take the day off from work today. Of course, I can take the day off because this is my work. Yeah. That don't make no sense, dude. You can't take the day off because this is your work. I'm glad you recognize that it is my work. Yeah. I'm so glad you do recognize that. Because some people say, get a real job. The same people that say, get a real job, say, this is not your real work. And then they do agree with me that it is work. So which one is it? All right, let's see. All right, so let's see. Let's try to put a stem on this. Stem? Yeah. Like a stem cell? Or one of the sciences? Engineering? No. You'll see. It's like a tang. Like that drink they brought to the moon? No. Context. Look to see what I'm doing. Oh, I forget. People ask me what I'm doing. They can see what I'm doing, but they ask me, what are you doing? Are you like watching this only with your ears? Like you're blind, you can't see? If you're blind and can't see, I can cut you some slack. But if you can see and you ask what I'm doing, I don't know, dude. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I know what to tell you, but it just doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. It doesn't make sense to me why you ask. I would rather figure it out for myself. And if it were me, not depend on someone else telling me, because I could tell you, oh, I'm making an explosive arrowhead. This is actually made from compacted gunpowder. Yeah. And you just touch a little spark to it and it'll go off. Yeah. I could be telling you stuff like that. Don't take it from me what this is.
It's not compacted gunpowder because I've done it before and it looks more black than this.
See? That's using your brain. I'm gonna get some people in trouble. It's funny, they know how to not put that in the comments because it'll get them in trouble, but they don't know to not put stupid comments in the comments. They don't know that gets them into trouble too. But I don't care. I like it when people self-incriminate. Please put that in the comments. And troll me. Yeah, bring it on. I want to see who the trolls are. See if we can catch them in the act. Yeah. Catch them in the act of self-incriminating. Free speech is great for that particular reason. So what am I doing? I am kind of making the edge straighter, kind of. I say kind of because it's not perfectly straight, because someone's going to say,
It doesn't look straight to me. You say you straighten the edge, but it looks all kind of jaggedy. Jaggedy.
yeah, it's still going to be jaggedy, even when I straighten it. It's still going to be slightly jaggedy. So I'm just trying my best. That's all I can do. Eventually, it's going to be sharpened. And I think I will be able to sharpen it to a good extent. Yeah. Enough to cause serious damage to the enemy. Yes. Whatever that may be. Maybe the enemy is boredom. Yeah. I don't get bored by looking at sharp blades. Oh no. My boredom evaporates when I look at sharp blades. It's funny how that works. Yeah. Oh, this pressure flakes well too, Michael. Amazing. Look at that. We got to hit Michael up for more of this stuff, because if it's cheap, oh yes. I won't tell nobody. No, I won't tell nobody. You guys, you know I'm not going to tell anybody, right? Right? Too late. Too late. Half the guys watching don't know what it is because they missed the first half. Yeah. You missed it. You missed where this rock comes from and everything.
Yeah, but it's not a pretty color. It looks like doo-doo.
It's your loss, dude. Yeah. Yep. It's your loss. And our gain. So keep losing. Keep thinking it looks like doo-doo. Yes. Please do it.
Yeah, but Native Americans, they sought out the stuff that looked cool. Yeah. They walked for miles for the good stuff.
I think they walked for miles for the good stuff that was not colorful too. They walked for miles for everything basically. That was their whole transportation mode for many, many thousands of years. Walking and running was their transportation. How else are they going to get there?
I heard they used to ride buffalo, dude. They ride bisons. Bison riding. Yeah. Or they ride reindeer. Reindeer riding. Yeah.
Have you seen the guys that ride reindeer? They're like about 5 feet tall. Children can ride reindeer, and you can even put a small child on a dog, like a little baby. You can strap them to the back of a dog. As long as the dog is tamed, doesn't run off with the baby. You can travel for miles with children riding on animals, but adults have a hard time riding on animals before we tame the horse. Yeah. Of course, I think they were taming elephants a long time ago. So there's that whole big can of worms right there about it. Taming elephants. Does that mean some of the mammoths were tamed? Or potentially had the same kind of genetics where they could be tamed easily? That makes you wonder. Yeah. Makes me wonder. So I was going to put a stem on it, right? Why am I not putting a stem on this? Because I'm looking to see if there's any more areas I need to thin down before I do the stem. That's just a habit of mine. I want to make sure that I don't need to thin anymore anywhere else. Because it's a different mindset. Starting to work on the stem and the base and all that is a different mindset than thinning. So I don't want to break the mojo. I want to see if there's any further thinning. And I did see some more on the tip. It's still kind of thick on this side. I should taper that down. And we'll do that right now. And then I'll put the stem in, okay? We're still working toward the stem, okay? We're working toward doing the stem. Just hold your horses. I know you want to see how to haft it and all that. Yes, you want to see how to haft it? No? You just wanted me to talk some more smack about the dum-dums? I could insert some drama as well. I could talk more smack about the dum-dums and then insert some drama. I was just watching a drama live stream today. My goodness. Why was I watching it? I don't know. YouTube seems to think that I like to watch drama. So it starts to give me a bunch of drama stuff to look at. I don't know what it is. I try to look at science. And it gives me drama. Yeah. Anyways. Thousands of views from irrelevant drama. That's going to evaporate. In a week, no one's going to remember this drama. Nobody. And yet, thousands of views. Millions of views in some cases. It's all just waste. Talking about waste. Wasting in the quarry, wasting rocks. We're wasting our brains on drama when we could be figuring stuff out.
No, AI is going to figure everything out, dude. AI is a piece of trash, but at least it'll figure things out.
Yeah. Don't depend on it. I know a lot of you are not going to depend on it, but the same guys that say they're not depending on the AI do stuff are watching drama for no reason. So AI is going to have to figure it out if we're not working on it. Dude, I'm not interested in how to grow superfood. I'm watching somebody discuss a girl's, boobs. Yeah, that's what I want to see. I don't want to figure out how to make a superfood. Yeah, just go ahead, man. Go ahead. Anyways. We don't need you in the conversations. All right, let's see if I can... See, I've thinned it down enough so I can do the pressure flaking on this. I made it symmetrical, pretty much. That's good enough. For the tapering, it's symmetrical on, you know, top and bottom here. There's a little bit of a scoop out there, but oh well. I'm going to put the stem in, but I got to thin it a little bit more in some spots. Yeah, like that. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to put the stem in because I think it's stemmable. Yeah, that's a word in flint knapping. Once the base becomes stemmable or able to be stemmed, I will do it. Let's see. Before I start that, let's look at the chat. Did someone else give me a super chat? No. Let's see. Yeah, hit the like button if you are so inclined, or hit the screen twice. Double tap the screen, it'll give me a like, and YouTube will like me more. Excuse me. YouTube will like me more. Union says, do you ever do projects other than bifacial like Levallois or Mazaturian? Oh, yes. Just type in Jack Crafty Levallois. I have a nickname for it called La La La. It's the La 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 technique because no one knows how to say Levallois. I don't know why. They just don't. Okay, so yes. The answer to the question is yes. All that blah, blah, blah was for nothing. All right. Let's see. I'm just going to call all my glitter crunch hinge-o-matic. Yes, it does hinge. David says, hey, Patrick, I love watching and listening. Thank you. Thank you. I am very glad. If it's a stemmed point, asks Boomstick Boys, if it's a stem point, I'd like to see it hafted on a shaft or a notched point of something to see, put it in a bone handle. I have better than that. I've got wood handles. Yeah. I can put it in that. I can put it in this. I don't like bone handles. And there's for one reason. Wood floats. So if you drop this in the river, have I ever done that? I don't know. But if you drop it in the river, something like this with a large wood handle, guess what it looks like when it's dropped in the river? It doesn't look like something sitting on the bottom. It floats like this. It floats. Dudes, make wooden handles of lightweight wood, because if you drop it in the river, it'll float like this. And you can see the top. And you just go in and grab it. Yeah. So you won't be like on your way home. The guys will make fun of you because you drop your bone-handled knife in the river and it sunk to the bottom in 5 seconds. Never to be seen again. Yeah. That's why. Okay? All right. So you want to see it hafted, that's fine. You're in the right place at the right time because I always do it anyway. You didn't know? Because you're just one of the new guys. So I'll probably make the stem to fit this particular handle. Okay? And it's a 4-shaft, yeah. For a spear or whatever. Well, it can also be used like a knife. But you can also stick it on the end of a spear or whatever. All right? I consider the 4-shaft and the point together as a system. How should I explain this? The system is point and 4-shaft together. That is the top of the shaft. It's not this stuck into a long shaft. It's this stuck into a 4-shaft, which is then stuck into a long shaft. All right? Different components, a composite arrangement. If you look at the artifacts, and I've got lots of notes, this is what happens. You first make a 4-shaft to insert the point in, and this unit becomes the point of your weapon. This unit between the wood and the stone. The combined wood and stone. Yeah, and if I could explain things better, I'd be in a much better position. Anyways, I think you get what I mean. Somebody sent me something. What is this I see? I see a Mac Bales $10 super chat. Thank you very much, Mac. Awesome. What else is in the chat that I missed? And if you have a question and you think I might make fun of you, just be brave. Yeah, I might make fun of you, but oh well. I also had, let's see. Wait, John Waring sent $5 and $10? Wait a second. Oh, Johnny sent me $10. Thank you. And Danny Moore sent $5. Thank you. Awesome. We're entering the inception. Yeah. You didn't know? See, I had to check my separate phone because my first phone is being used to film this, and I can't see very well, and it makes the camera that I'm using bounce around a lot if I start touching the screen. Boomstick Boy says, I don't find a lot of bone here in Florida because of soil acidity, but wood and pine pitch makes sense that it floats. Yeah. You learn your lesson really quick by being out on the water with your tools. That you need wood handles on a lot of your stuff so they won't sink to the bottom. He's made a portal. Yeah, this is a portal into infinity. Yeah. Funny how people just they exit the chat as soon as infinity shows itself. Let's see. Why do they transport it on railroads? I also got a large chunk of shocked obsidian today. Why do they transport it on railroads? They transport everything on railroads, dude. Let's see. I'm lost in the infinity. Okay, I'll get rid of the infinity. I'll get rid of it. All right, so if I wanted to mount it onto this handle, I got to mark it, right? Or do I just wing it? I'll mark it just because I'm so used to modern stuff. But back in the day, they would just eyeball this stuff. They make the 4 shafts ahead of time, and there's artifacts that'll prove that they made 4 shafts ahead of time. And then they would match the stone to the wood. Believe it or not, it's faster to shape the stone than it is to shape the wood. Believe it or not. Let's see how well this stuff notches. So this is a challenge rock that's supposedly waste rock. But Michael says his hinges a lot. Yeah. Ooh, it breaks easily. See that? I just blew out the sides, but it's okay. Because we don't need no stinking narrow notches. We don't need no stinking narrow notches. It's not a performance art. It's a utilitarian art, right? No, you hate it when I say that. You want to see performance? Yeah. You don't always get what you want, man. You haven't learned that already? I thought you learned everything by the time you're 20. Yeah, that's what I thought. You don't learn everything in napping or in life by the time you're 20. No. Or by the time you're 60. I'm 61. I haven't learned everything about napping. Oh, dang. See, I proved it right there. I haven't learned to not do that. I have to not do that. See, it blew out too much of that notch. See how I'm using the spatula tool? It depends on what type of stone I'm napping. Sometimes I'll start on the top and push down, and sometimes I'll use the front part of the spatula to grip and push down. But in this case, since it's so flakery, I just downward pressure on the corner of the tool, and it wipes out the bottom of the notch easily. I don't have to push like this and then pop it out. I can just start at the top and work down because it's so delicate. And I do the same thing with obsidian and dacite obsidian, even though it's not real dacite. I'll just sometimes just start it at the top and push down if it's delicate enough. Now this one, I'm probably going to have to bite into it with the front of the tool and push down. Yeah. There it goes. Nice little pop out. Once it starts getting deeper, you can do those pop outs without having to worry too much about expanding toward the edges and wiping out your barbs and ears and stuff. Okay. So I work downwards to make it a little bit stronger for the pressure. See, it looks like it's going to be stalled, right? But it's not. I just push right on that. And voila. See that? So I pushed into it and then downward. Pushed in and downward. Pops it right out. In a perfect world, it always does it nicely. In a real world, it hardly ever does it nicely. I've just had a lot of experience, okay? I make it look a little bit easier than it is. Okay, all right. Some people might say, yeah, I bet you, a smarter guy could figure that out by the time he's 10 years old, dude. Because it looks like you can just figure it out. Yeah, looks are deceiving. It requires a little bit of experience. How do I know? I don't know. See that? I pushed in and then downward. So it kind of scraped its way through there and punched that out. Now I say punch when it's pressure. You can also use a punch to do these, but I don't like using punches on this kind of stuff because I have a hard time controlling the punches. I have an easier time controlling the pressure flaker. And you can see how I'm able to continue going, even though it's getting thicker and thicker. I just have to make sure I pop out those nice flakes. And making sure in knapping is not easy. In fact, it requires a little bit of luck, no matter what. You can't always make sure. Why do I say that funny? I don't know. So does it fit? It's starting to fit. The width of the stem has to be the same width as the wood, or maybe a little bit wider. But if it's the same width, it works well. But I need to go a little bit deeper to make it a stronger bond between the wood and the stone. Okay? All right. You're so agreeable, always. You're always so agreeable. Nice. This is good stuff. Yep. So my opinion, my verdict on this stuff is it's good. As long as there's no defects. And I could see a lot of defects. And it step fractures easily. It breaks in half easily. The barbs, like on this, when I first started, the barbs just snapped off real easily. So you have to be very, very delicate with it. You have to tiptoe through the tulips when you're doing this pressure flaking. But other than that, I've seen a lot worse. Yeah, I've seen a lot worse. That doesn't allow you to do stuff like this. And I demonstrated earlier that I could break this with my hands. I probably cannot break this blade with my hands, but I could break a flake with my hands, just snapping the flake. So these are not very strong. So if I were to use this out in the field, it would be mainly for just cutting up meat or something delicate. You know, a skinning or something. But I probably wouldn't even waste it on skinning. I would use a flake for skinning. and maybe just use this as a self-defense weapon. Have it on the hip in a sheath for, you know, self-defense. Because it's hard to defend yourself with a flake. Yeah, that is the disadvantage of a flake, because you don't want to be sent. You don't want to have this. It would look funny to have this in a sheath and pull this out and defend yourself with it. It might be okay with some of the early hominids, but modern guys, they don't want this in the sheath. Pull that out and say, "I'm gonna get you." No, they'll pull this out. "I'm gonna get you." You know, it works a lot better. Come on, I dare you, bring it on. Something like this, yeah. Then you can say, "Bring it on." But if you got a flake in your hand, they laugh at you. I would. Just do the napping, dude, because your theories are just ridiculous. Yep, they are ridiculous sometimes, but it makes you think a little bit. All right, so it's starting to get to the point where I don't want to use any more pressure. I'm starting to have to use pressure, a lot of it, to get through this thicker material, and that's when I know I need to stop. Because once I start using a whole lot of pressure on this, that's what leads to trouble, because it'll snap. They do need to go a little bit further for my taste, but after that, that's it. It's starting to get a little bit too difficult to go further with the notches. Yeah, I'm starting to hit the wall, or it's starting to stall. If you hit the wall, that's called a stall. It's a good time to stop. Even though it might look terrible, it's better to stop than to break the whole thing. Yeah. So I hit the wall, right? What happens if you want to go further when you hit the wall and start to stall? You have to widen the notch. Oh yes, the dreaded notch widening technique. I would borrow from the barb to widen it, not from the stem in this case. Because if you borrow from the stem, it makes the stem too narrow. If I wanted to go deeper with the notches, I'd borrow from the barb side and just widen this notch out. Or, you know, even eliminate the barbs and just make a long stem. But I think that's good enough. It's good enough for a knife that's not going to be used for anything heavy duty. And the reason why they're so big to start out with is because they got to be resharpened every day. Every time you use it, you have to resharpen it because it does get dull fast. Stone knives get dull fast, much faster than steel knives. So I can haft this now, and it'll be good enough for a knife, for skinning or something. You know, the handle, it doesn't need to be that large if you just want to do a skinning knife. But if you wanted to put it on the end of a spear that you throw, perhaps as a self-defense weapon, yeah, I would probably make the stem longer so that this joint would be stronger. But if it's just for a knife, like I said, this is good enough. Yeah. And in real life, I would probably leave this thicker as well, because it'll snap right here. When you attach it to wood and there's any kind of pressure this way, it snaps the stem off. Unless you have it nice and thick. Okay, so let's see. What do I haft it with? I just so happen to have something somewhere. I have this hemp cordage. Now, they use sinew mostly back in the day. They used sinew or tendon, and this is already shredded. Okay, this is what they used to use mostly, but I'm going to use hemp cordage. Why? Because it's faster. Okay, all right. And I'm not going to use glue because, why? Because it's faster if I don't. I'm just going to haft it and show you how to haft it with just the cordage. Yeah. Okay. All right. And it's not really a major lesson in anything. It's just, I'm just going to show you how it looks. I mean, you can use your imagination for this stuff. But you wrap the whole stem. There's no crisscrossing on this one. You just wrap the whole stem. If I can get the wrap to go up on there. Because I don't have glue, it's not holding it. And it's not a firm hold. So with the sinew, I would just get it started, right? And I would go up over the top of the wood. Why over the top of the wood? Why don't you leave the wood exposed? Because it's stronger when the wood is not exposed. Let me see. Let me do this in a different way. This thing is getting in my way. It's getting annoying. This bundle. Okay. Let's see. Let me put something in there to hold it still also. What can I jam in there to make it so it stays a little bit firm? Stick a flake in there. Yeah, like a little wedge. I'm going to stick a little wedge flake in there. Just to hold it firm. Did they used to do this? I don't know, maybe. Yeah, it's going to take forever. It'll take less time if I actually use glue. There. Okay. So I wedged another piece of, I wedged a flake in there to keep it steady. All right. Are we cooking with gas now? Yeah. So I would wrap it like this with sinew. Up over the top of the wood as far as I can go. Yeah, that's good enough. And then wrap the whole stem. Now sinew lays flatter than this. This is kind of bulky because it's cordage. You can flatten cordage too, but it's not as easy to flatten the cordage as it is to flatten the sinew. But anyways, I just wrapped the whole stem. There's no crisscrossing with this kind of stem. You know, sometimes you'll see a crisscross. And I left some of the bark on here just so it'll be a smooth transition between the cordage and the rest of the foreshaft. Yeah, see, so it's good to have a little bit of a shoulder. And the sinew sticks to itself, so you don't need to tie it off. With cordage, you do need to tie it off because it won't stick to itself. Did I cut myself? I just cut myself. Anyways, let's put a Band-Aid on here. How can I be so uncoordinated? I'm so uncoordinated. Yeah. That's why it took me so long to learn how to do knapping. And see, I just touched myself with that flake. And if I were to touch like that with the knife, with that, it wouldn't cut me like that. So the flake's the sharpest. Man, these Band-Aids are old. I got Band-Aids stashed everywhere. Some of them are old. They're getting old. And yeah, now it won't make a mess everywhere. Okay. So yeah, I just wrap it with sinew like that. And there would be glue showing and all that if I had glue to show you for the demonstration. Okay, what time is it? Oh, I still got 20 minutes? It's time to sharpen, right? Yes, it is. So let's sharpen. If it's a stem pointer, like, okay, let's see, what else? What do we got here in the chat? I think we got another super chat. North D3B, amazing, bro. Thank you, $2.79. Thank you. Yeah, I gotta watch. I'll poke my eye out with this. Stop streaming. It's Christmas Eve. It's not Christmas Eve until it's dark out. It's not dark yet, dude. Blood tribute means the blade has a future. Yes. Very true. All right, let's see what else we got. Yeah, I need to use sap and real sinew. I have real sinew. So, but I don't have to use it because it's a demonstration. Yeah, I don't have to use it. I got to take this apart. I use this on almost every video, this little foreshaft, as a demonstration. So what I did was I just jammed the flake in there to hold it steady while I wrapped it with cordage. But yeah, it would be sinew with some kind of hot melt glue. But you can use water-based glue. You know, you can make glue out of sugar. For one, it doesn't have to be pine sap. But the sugar is water soluble, so you might not want to use that. Pine sap is not water soluble, it's a hot melt. So most of the time they use asphaltum or pine or a combination of both for the glue. And what is asphaltum? It's also called bitumen, 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 something like that. But yeah, asphaltum, like asphalt, but with a at the end, asphaltum. Or pine, or a mixture of the two, was used a lot as glue. Okay? And the glue mainly is not for strength, it's just to hold it firm for the wrapping. Because as soon as you hit something with this, when it's got a brittle glue, it comes apart. It snaps within the joint. The glue will just break and snap within the joint, but the wrapping is what holds it. So it just holds it long enough for it to penetrate if it's a spear or an arrow or a little dart. And once it's in the wound, a lot of times this is going to be loose. sometimes it pulls all the way out as you try to take it away. Try to take it out. It'll pull out and stay in the wound. Sometimes that's good, like warfare, you know. It helps to keep the enemy out of the fight. If he's wounded with a point inside the wound, he's not going to want to fight anymore. Anyways, this is good for just a personal knife and not really for heavy duty work, because it'll snap right here. This type of material is delicate. If you put any kind of, I can break it with my hand right now. I can do this and break it. That's how delicate this stone is. But we're going to sharpen it anyway, because it can be used as a skinning knife or whatever. Skinning. Okay? All right. So I'm just going to go down the blade and sharpen it. It does pressure flake well. Let me put my other glove on. I don't want to be interrupted by a flake between the tool and my finger. Like these flakes are flying. I need to dull that edge more. And yeah, dull the edge for pressure as well as percussion. And for the same reason. You need a strong edge to push off those flakes. It does pressure flake pretty good. Yeah. And you don't need to take it out of the haft to sharpen it, obviously. But you're not going to be able to sharpen this area down there very easily, because it bumps into the pad or whatever. So, I mean, you can sharpen it like this. Maybe. Anyway, on a lot of artifacts, this area is not sharp anyway. And there's probably a reason for that. And yeah, I got to avoid step fracturing and avoid too much pressure. Too much pressure gives you those little bites. So I got to be right in the middle of not enough, too much. Get that sweet spot for the amount of pressure I need. Yeah, I did not grind this down enough. I need to be able to push off some good flakes. Hopefully it stayed in focus. Hocus pocus focus. What I'm doing is I'm making it symmetrical, which dulls it a little bit, because I'm going to run flakes on the other side too. It's best to scoop out both sides. When you scoop it out, it kind of gives it a hollow ground effect, and it makes it a little bit sharper. You can do that on one side or both sides. If you only do it on one side, it's called beveling. This grinds down very easily. There it goes. And which is good, because it needs It needs to be ground down a lot to get the flakes to run. Then you just go back and clip off the dull spots in between with just downward pressure. Right? Right. And you check the edge. It's going to look like it's sawtoothed. Right, but it's sharp. It's just not as sharp as something that's not this crunchy. This is kind of crunchy, so it's not getting all that sharp. But it'll still work. All right, so on the other side. I'm just taking short flakes. I'm just taking short flakes for this demonstration. I can use a lot more inward pressure and drive these flakes longer if I see an opportunity, but it's thinned down enough that I don't need to do any more thinning. Besides, it's probably not a good idea to thin it further because it's such a delicate stone. I'll check the chat in a minute. There is a step fracture here. Sometimes I can pick those out with a tool like this. The step fracture is not that bad, actually. I picked it out here. This one, there's barely any step fracture. It's kind of noticeable, but oh well. I'll just leave it. And I got to do the other side. I got to do this side here. I've already gone down this side. Now I just have to do the other side. But before that, I trim it up a little bit. Where to go, where to go. And yeah, I have antler pressure flakers too, but they're a pain. Because you got to keep sharpening them. The stone eats the antler pressure flakers for lunch. One more pass, right? Yes. This is kind of loose. Yeah, like that. Yeah, like that. Time to take it out of the haft. Yes, it's getting kind of loose. That little rock wedge in there, Is it getting all crunched? Just wedge another rock in there. Expedient. Some kind of field expedient fix. Yeah. I just wedged some more rock down in there. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up. It's almost 4 o'clock. So let me just pick at the edge a little bit more and get rid of the dull spots wherever I can see that it's still kind of dull. Just downward pressure to pick those dull spots off. I might not have done a pass on this side. It looks like I didn't flake this side. But I did on this side, I did on this side, and I did this side. Yes? Oh, I don't know. Anyways, it doesn't matter as long as it's sharp. It's not that symmetrical though. See, this side bulges out more than this side. Yeah, I could fix that. This side bulges out more than this side. I got some time. So I'm just making it symmetrical, so hold on. I will check the chat. Before I sign off, I'll try to answer any questions that are in the chat. So yeah, I have to dull it before I can sharpen it, because these flakes won't come off. And before I actually intentionally dulled it, it was sharp, yes, but it was not symmetrical. Why is it important to be symmetrical? It's only important if I want to sell this. Otherwise, it's not important. And this will be for sale. Not with the handle, but just the blade by itself. Yeah, I'll work on the tip later. The very tip usually needs a little bit extra time and effort. But I should probably no, I'm not going to work on the tip anymore. It needs to be thick. Yeah, because it's such a delicate stone. The fact that it is kind of crunchy up there, it bugs me. Yeah. I got to get rid of that. Before I sell this, I got to get rid of that crunchiness up in here. Yeah, it's too crunchy right there. Yeah, see that? Otherwise, the rest of it's okay. Yeah. Alrighty, so let's clean up a little bit, and I'll end the live stream here in a few minutes. Okay, what did I miss? Let's see. Bushy is here. Frodo Joe. If you want it perfect, you scan it and put in AutoCAD and you can get it within a 0.0001, 100% perfect. Yeah. Yes, yes. I know that very well. Midbar says, I made enough taco meat for an army Monday. I guess can guess what to eat today. Yeah. It could be worse. It could be much worse. I still have a turkey I have thawed out and I haven't cooked yet. It's fully thawed though. I will cook it today. But I'm by myself, so I don't need to. I don't need to have a turkey. But I can't live without turkey. You know, I don't need it. I just want it. Hey, Aaron Wilson. Hey, Patrick, I'm late, but at least I got my angulometer ready. Yes. Keith Callahan's here. If you only bevel one side, would it be sharper or does it depend on material? It depends on your skill. And you can make the one-sided bevel extremely sharp. You can also make the two-sided or bifacial sharpening extremely sharp. It depends on your skill level. But the easier way to go is with the bevel. If you don't have all that much skill, the easier way to make it very sharp is to do the bevel. Let's see here. Blue Gems says we are not celebrating this year. Oh, dang. Somebody smoking some ham. Merry Christmas, everybody. Everyone is going to have a blessed Christmas. Yes. Clovis is no Clovis today. If you want to see a Clovis made by me, just type in Jack Crafty Clovis, and I have a video or two on it. Let's see. What type? No flute? Yeah, no flute. This is just a stemmed point. Stemmed. Like on this front cover of the Overstreet, there's stemmed points here. What book is it? Identification and Price Guide to Indian Arrowheads. Overstreet. Okay. All right. And not every point is fluted. The fluting only lasted a few hundred years, maybe a maximum of 500 years for the fluting on the Clovis, compared to thousands of years of other points. But everyone's focused on Clovis. It's highly annoying to nappers that people are focused on that. So, yeah, spooky neighbors have wind chimes. What's going on with the wind chimes? Somebody said I never thought to use a file. I had to try that. Yeah, try it. Try the diamond file. It's a diamond file. You can get a set at Harbor Freight for like $8. And then they work. Don't get them anywhere else. Just get them at Harbor Freight because they seem to last forever. And if they don't, they'll give you a refund. Somebody's at Grand Canyons. Yeah, bench grinder grinding stones. Yeah, as an abrader, I use abraders that used to be grinding wheels for bench grinders. What you making? Says Apex. Look in the background. It says I'm a flint napper and I make stone obsidian. See, you can't see it though, right? But now you can. You can see the sign. For all your background people. Caveman had no files, but did have rocks, no gloves, but had skins, not cameras either. Ed, are you Captain Obvious today, Ed? Let's see. What else did I miss? Did you make a video, said Dawkinstein? Are you talking to me? A couple of bifaces videos I didn't. Okay, talking to Marty. All right, so is it 4 o'clock yet? Yeah, it's past 4 p.m. Eastern, so I'm going to end the live stream. Some good napping as always, Patrick. Thank you. Thanks, Marty. Okay, that's it. I don't see any more questions. I'll hang around for maybe 1 or 2 more minutes just in case. Patrick, would you say yes? The beveling can be sharper if you're a newbie. Oh, let's see. That was a good question. Do you give those out as Christmas gifts? Says Zonk. No, I don't give them out as Christmas gifts. Not anymore. The ghostwriter says I have to start back napping. I have a bunch of material. Yeah, do it, because all that material can't be going to waste. They say I waste a lot. People who don't nap waste even more. Yeah. Ed says I was showing a knife off to some guy and it broke. Yeah. That's never happened to me. Where's my obsidian? I just did not nap it this on this live stream. You can look at my other videos. I think I've read all the stuff. Yes, yes. Sam is here. Yeah, cut away from me, not towards me. Yeah, I cut myself earlier in the live stream by cutting towards me. Trying to take a shortcut. Okay, Midbar says he's got to go. All right, everybody, Merry Christmas Eve. I might do a video tomorrow on Christmas late, but I probably won't. So if I don't see you, Merry Christmas. Later, everybody. That's it. I'll just try to set this up so I can take a screenshot later. All right. There you go. See you next time. Next live stream is Friday at 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.